So in this video I'm going to teach you how to do the morning Yünchab, which is your water bowl offerings that you make at your altar in your home. So upon waking, we want to say any kind of prayer or affirmation to set our motivation for the day, to work for the benefit of all sentient beings, to make everything that we do throughout the day meaningful. So after you've done that, upon waking, go and wash your hands, your face, and brush your teeth, because you want to be clean when you're making these offerings. You want to visualize that the representations of body, speech, and mind, which is on every Buddhist altar. The body is the statue, the mind is the stupa, and the speech is a Dharma text. We want to make these offerings to real beings in our visualization, not just little brass trinkets and so on. So I have a picture of my teacher here, and this is actually his altar in Mumbai, South India. And we take the water bowls as they've been turned upside down from the night before when the offerings were removed, and they should be turned upside down and dried. Never place an empty bowl on the altar. Never give an empty offering. In fact, that's something that goes throughout Buddhist practice. Is, for instance, this with the thumbs out are the hands pressed together for Christian prayer, Hindus, and so on and so forth. For Buddhists, we place our thumbs inside so that the hands are never empty. And we visualize that we have whatever offerings we can give to all the enlightened beings to help us. So we take the bowls, and I started with lighting my lamp, and I have some incense burning in the incense holder on the floor in front of the altar. So we're going to take the bowls, and we're going to fill the first bowl with smoke from the incense. Just visualize the blessings are filling the bowl. And then we take a water pitcher, and you can fill this with clean tap water, or you can boil some saffron water, which just a few stamens of saffron in the water will turn it a beautiful yellow and give it a really sweet smell. This makes the water more pleasing and considered more holy. So we're going to fill the first bowl with water. This offering practice helps to develop generosity. As you make the offering, you think about giving away these different sense offerings without any expectation of return. You make the offering to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, all the holy beings, that they may continue the work helping all beings and guiding them to also become Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So the lineage is represented by the way we take one bowl and we pass the blessings of the water into the next bowl, like a master filling his student's mind with his own knowledge. So now the second bowl we fill with smoke, and we take this water and we pour most of the contents into the second one, and we place this on the altar. This first sense offering is argam, and argam means water for drinking. It's the Sanskrit word for water for drinking. So we say Om Argam Ahum. Om Ahum are the three holy syllables of body, speech, and mind. So Om Argam Ahum, and we visualize this water is no longer water, that every atom and molecule itself becomes oceans and oceans of more offerings. So the more you can visualize that you're giving even more than what you're actually giving, then karmically it becomes the same thing. So we're able to make all these offerings and achieve great karma and great merit from just using tap water. So now the next bowl moves to the right hand. We fill the third bowl with smoke from the incense, and we pour most of the contents in, remembering the lineage of master, student, master, student, master, student. And we place the bowl, the sense offering for water for drinking, which is padyam, on the altar. Om padyam ahum. Om padyam ahum. Om padyam ahum. You can say this 3 times. And visualize that now every atom and molecule in the water has become galaxies and galaxies of oceans of water for bathing. Okay? Again, we move the third bowl to our right hand. We fill the fourth bowl with incense smoke. And just like the lineage of master to student, over the centuries, we pour the contents from one mind into the student's mind. And we visualize making oceans upon oceans of flower offerings. This is pupe. Om pupe ahum. Om pupe ahum, om pupe ahum, om pupe ahum. Now this becomes the sense offering of flowers. Beautiful flowers offered to all these holy beings. Now move the fourth bowl to your right hand. Fill the fifth bowl with incense. And again, with your visualization and recollection of the lineage, make your fourth offering, which is dupe. Dupe means incense. And you would say Om dupe ahum, Om dupe ahum, Om dupe ahum. Now the next, the lamp now goes in between the fourth and fifth bowl. And this is Om aloke ahum. Aloke is light. So we're offering light to all beings, all these holy beings, all these holy teachers. And then we move the fifth bowl over, we fill it with incense, and we pour most of the contents in, mindful of the lineage, the blessings of these teachings being preserved throughout time. And now we make the offering of perfumed oils. Gande. Om Gande Ahum, Om Gande Ahum, Om Gande Ahum. And then we move the sixth bowl over. We fill the seventh bowl with the smoke offering. And we pour most of the contents in. Now then we're making the offering of food. Food is niwite. Om niwite ahum, Om niwite ahum, Om niwite ahum. And now the last bowl is the sense offerings of music. Shakta. Om Shakta Ahum, Om Shakta Ahum, Om Shakta Ahum. Now, if you had sorry, that's getting ahead of myself. Now that we've placed the offerings down and they all have a little bit of water in them, we now then go through and fill them all with the rest of the way with water. When we place the bowls on the altar, we want to make sure that they're not touching and they're not too far apart. So they should be about the width of the middle of a grain of rice. So if you took a grain of rice, like the belly, the fattest part of the rice, is about how far apart they are. And you'll use this measurement again as you fill your water up. And so as I'm filling this, I'm also visualizing these offerings going out to all the holy beings. As I'm filling this, I'm also saying Om Argam Ahum, Om Argam Ahum, Om Argam Ahum. This is again water for drinking. And the left hand is going to be held like this, as if you're offering to like you're serving. You're serving these holy dignitaries that are visiting you. And again, you do not look at them as brass trinkets. You see them as actual beings and try to visualize them with pleasing looks on their face, and maybe they nod to you and smile. Then we fill up Om Padyam Ahum, Om Padyam Ahum, Om Padyam Ahum. Try not to breathe too heavily on the offerings. That's why it's good to brush your teeth right after you wake up, so you won't feel like, oh, my dirty breath. It's all over these offerings. Om Pupe Ahum, Om Dupe Ahum, Om Aloke Ahum, Om Gande Ahum. Not to be confused with Gandhi. Gandhi and Gande are two totally different things. And Om Niwite Ahum, food, and music, Om Shabda Ahum. After you finish making the offerings, say Om Ahum 3 times, which seals the blessings and the merit that you achieved from making these offerings. Om Ahum, Om Ahum, Om Ahum. Or so then you go about your practice, you sit down, do your practice, you've made your offerings, and at sundown, we want to take the offerings down. Okay? So now these have been offered to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. They've enjoyed and given you the blessings and inspiration of their wisdom and compassion. And now we're going to take them down. So when we set the altar up, we set them from left to right. When we take them down, we take them from right to left. And if the lamp was already burnt out, you would take it off and turn it upside down, off to the side. And then you take your pitcher and a bowl, and I take them off. Do this. Really move that out of the way. Shouldn't set it on the altar. You should take these down. And dry your bowl and turn it upside down. Now, the short mantra for Vajrasattva, which is the Buddha of purification, we say Om Vajrasattva Ahum as you're removing these offerings. As you're removing these offerings, you visualize that now these offerings have trapped all of your ignorance and all of your selfish energy, and you're removing them. So, you remove them one at a time. Say Om Vajrasattva Ahum. This is, it's such a beautiful ritual to do on a daily basis. It sets your motivation. It helps you develop the awareness of generosity and gentleness and kindness. And the antidote, or the power that generosity is working against, is this fear of death. When there's a fear of death, which is every fear, if you're afraid of spiders, it's tied to the fear of death. If you're afraid of public speaking, it's tied to the fear of death. Death energy, this fear energy, makes you hold on to things more. And so by giving and practicing giving, you're actually reducing a lot of that selfish, negative fear. And it takes time. Making one set of offerings one morning isn't going to do anything. This has to become a habit, a pattern that you do every day. So after you've taken all of your offerings down and you've turned your bowls upside down, you then take the water outside and you dump it somewhere where no one's going to walk over it. It's said to have all this negative, you're selfish and negative ignorance energy, and you want to get it out and where it's not going to harm anybody. So imagine that once you've poured it into the ground, that this cannibal comes out from underneath the earth and eats your negative karma and then goes away. So it's not out there waiting for somebody else to step in it, okay? It's gone. It's gone. Our negative energies, our selfishness, our ignorance, it's gone and it won't hurt anybody else. So then, after you've done this, you make a dedication. If you only did a water offering practice, then you do your dedication of the merit. You've accumulated this good energy from doing this practice, and you make this dedication. By the virtue, by the merit I have collected by this practice, may I achieve the state of a Buddha to help all sentient beings be freed. Something like that. So then you tag this karma that you've just created as being used only for your future enlightenment. It's not going to come back as water bowl offerings given to you unless you become a Buddha. But we don't want our karma to be worldly karma. We want to be moving it towards enlightenment. So thinking in this way, I think, is a beautiful practice. It's up to you and your own spiritual journey as to whether or not you believe that any of this is working or not. But I would suggest that you do this for a period of time and see how you feel about making these offerings. See what kind of changes you feel within your own heart and your own mind over time. I promise that you're going to see some beautiful benefits come into your life from doing this. It's amazing.